As Tony mentioned, my name is Randy Hoyt. I'm a web developer and information architect. I teach at the University of Texas at Dallas, teach a web publishing class there in their emerging media and communications program. I work at a digital agency right now building websites for clients, and we use WordPress and a lot of other platforms there. I've run my own freelance company for some time before that, also building WordPress sites for clients. Today I want to talk about pages. As Tony alluded to, there are in WordPress pages and posts are the two main content types. Posts are time-stamped content. They live inside a blog chronology, inside a timeline. When you publish a post, it's time-stamped. It's true as of the time you wrote it. As time goes by, if your beliefs change, if the content changes, if something gets out of date, you don't typically update a blog post. You might put a comment that says, see this other blog post for my latest thoughts on this, but typically a blog post is true at the time you wrote it and gets outdated and you don't update it. Pages, on the other hand, are content that live outside of your blog chronology. So they don't have a timestamp. They're supposed to be true at the time you're reading it. So if something changes in the content of your page, you should update your pages. When you install WordPress, it comes with two posts to start with. Well, one post and one page. And the page is an about page, which if you're running a blog website, that's typically the first kind of timeless content or content outside your chronology that you would use. It's a page that talks about you, and as you're blogging and as you write your content for your blog, you'll want your about page to be updated. So if you move or get married or get a different job, you would go into your about page and edit the content. You would update it. So pages are meant to be updated and current at the time anybody reads them. So they're always supposed to be updated. What Tony's passing out is a wireframe for a non-bloggy site that I run, a site for my course at UT Dallas. So this is the home page. The way my course is structured, it's 15 weeks long. Each week there's about 6 to 10 assignments that are due. Each assignment has a due date and a point value. And then throughout the week they do these assignments, and then the next week we'll flip it over. So when you come to the site during week 1, you should see this is what we're doing week 1 with a link to give you the full list of assignments. I've also got announcements. I put the assignments online 2 weeks in advance, so for students that want to work ahead, they can keep up with that. There's a number of actions that they can follow, like go look at their grades online. When you click on this link to week 1 assignments, it'll take you to a page that lists all the assignments, shows you the 10 assignments, when they're due, and how many points they're worth. The title of the assignment in that page is a link that'll then take you to the page with the details about that assignment. It lists the week you're in, the assignment, the due date, the point total, and the content for that assignment. So what we're going to do for this talk, probably 30, 40 more minutes, is walk through how to take WordPress and make it look like that wireframe. So the first step is to install WordPress. And it doesn't quite look like the wireframe yet. When you first install WordPress, it's meant to run bloggy websites. So what you see on the home page is your most recent blog post, and you see this nice blue Kubrick theme, which has been the default theme for a long time, but it's changing in 3.0. The first thing you'll notice from the wireframe that's not here is the top navigation. Most sites that use WordPress as a CMS or for non-bloggy sites, and even some bloggy sites, have navigation across the top. An easy way to do that in any theme is to use a plugin called the PixoPoint menu plugin. You install the plugin and drop in a piece of code in your theme, and it'll add the navigation across the top. And the navigation is built directly off of the pages. So there's a link to the home page, and then there's a link to all the other pages in your site. When you first install WordPress, that's just the About page. There's one page. And as you add more pages, it'll add them automatically to the navigation. The other thing you could do is install a theme that has the navigation built in. This is the new default theme in WordPress 3.0. It's called 2010. So I've activated that theme and it has the navigation built in. Alright, the next thing on the wireframe that I want to cover is you'll notice this has the blog posts, the list of blog posts on the home page. If you look closely at the wireframe, you'll notice my site doesn't need to have that. It's not a bloggy website, so I don't want to have the latest blog posts on the home page. I do want them in the sidebar, you can see under announcements, but the main content should not be the latest blog posts. So I'm going to flip over to the WordPress backend, and I'm going to edit the page that's there so that it's not the About page, but it's the Home page. So I'll call this page Home, make it simple. Now I'm going to move this page up to the front of the website. There's a setting I'll set in WordPress for doing that. But when I do that, I can also create a separate page where I put all the blog posts. So if you're going to move your blog off of the front of the website, you can create another page, which is where your blog will then go. So I'll create a second page called Blog. Pages are not ordered chronologically. They're ordered in some specified order. So I'm going to change the order here to 2. So now this blog page will be the second page in the list. And we'll talk about an easier way to manage that instead of editing every page individually. So you click on Settings, and under Reading, so this is what people see when they're reading your site. The first option is what shows up on the front page. By default, it's your latest posts, but you can change that to be a static page. When you pick a static page, you get to pick which page that is. So we'll pick our home page. And then you can also specify where your posts should show up. If they're not going to be on the home page, you can pick a different page. So that blog page we created, we can put our blog there. And so now when I flip back to the site, you'll see the navigation. It's Home and Blog. And when you're on the home page, you see this content here, which is the default About context. So the home page now of the site is not showing the list of blog posts. It's showing a static page. And then there's a link in the navigation for blog, which when you click on that, it shows you all your recent blog posts. So the next thing I want to talk about is assignments. So the way the course is structured, I have assignments, as I said. Under assignments, there's 15 weeks. And then under each week, there's 6 to 10 pages, or 6 to 10 assignments. And we can set all those up as pages. Pages can be hierarchical, whereas blog posts can't, right? Blog posts, you just post them one after the other. I'm going to add an assignments page here and set it to be the third page in the navigation. And then I can add another page for the first week. So I name them, 01 and then the date range for the week. And then over here in page attributes, there's a field called parent. So you can specify which page this is a child page of. So I'm going to set assignments. So now I've got a hierarchical structure. So I have assignments, and then I have week 1 underneath that. You can see the web address here shows up as /assignments/ whatever that name, that big long name. And you can edit the web addresses for your individual pages. I like to make them shorter, so this page will be assignment / August 23rd. And then I'll add another page underneath this week for the first assignment. So the first assignment I have my students do is a course orientation assignment. So we'll create that, and then again under parent we'll specify the week 1 page as this one's parent page. So I've got a hierarchy now, assignments, then the weeks under that, and then the assignments under that. You'll notice if you look at the wireframe, the bottom left one, for individual assignments, each assignment has a due date and a point value. And I can specify those using WordPress's custom field settings. You've probably seen this box custom fields down here and not known what to do with it. What it allows you to do is create custom data about each page. So for this assignment, the course orientation, I'm going to add a field called points and specify a value of 2, and then click Add Custom Field, and it will associate that point value with the page. And then I'll also add one called Date Due. And specify the date. I think it's August 24th. This is me getting ready for the fall semester. And so then I'll publish that page, and WordPress will now know that this particular assignment is worth 2 points and that its due date is August 24th. You still have to do some work to get that to show up on the website, which we'll do that next. I'm going to add in the content here for the course orientation page. It's lorem ipsum dummy text for now. And then I'll update that page. It's got all that content now stored in the database for WordPress. When I flip back over to the website now, you'll see these pages exist in a hierarchy. A lot of the themes that give you a navigation also do drop-downs. So This is a screenshot of me mousing over assignments, and it pops down a list of all the weeks. You mouse over a week, and it pops out to the right a list of all the assignments under that week. This is the page for the course orientation page, which by default, most themes will show you the title of the page and the content, which is usually what you want. But in this case, if you look closely at the wireframe, I want it set up a little bit differently. I want it to show the week, then the title, then the date due and the points, and then the content. So what we're going to do is we're going to customize the theme so that it shows this assignment like that. WordPress uses a file in the theme called page.php to display a page. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to customize that file. Now this will just change the way that all the pages are displayed. And you might be thinking we probably don't want to set up every page to look like an assignment. But the truth is, in my site, there's over 100 assignments, 15 weeks, and then just a handful of other pages. So by default, most of my pages are going to be assignments. So I'm going to want to set up page.php to look like an assignment, and then I can customize the other pages to use a different file. So I clicked on Appearance Editor, and that loads up a list of templates in my theme. Clicked on page.php here, and it loads it. This is the PHP code that WordPress uses to display a page. The parts that are important to note here are this H1 with the title, and then this block here where it shows the content. With this particular page, we want to show the title of the parent, not the title of the page. So I've added this code here, and you can download the code from the website. It says if this page doesn't have a parent, then show the title. Otherwise, show the title of the parent first and then the title of the page. So that sets it up in this two-level title where it shows you the week and then the assignment title. And then down here is where the content is displayed. So this code displays the content. The code I've marked there in red shows the content. I'm going to add above that piece of code to show the custom fields. So this goes and gets those custom field values out of the database, the date due and the points, and if it has one of those, it'll then display those on the page. So from there, the page will then look like this. So it shows the week, the title, the date due, the points, and then the content. So that's a simple way to customize your theme the way that page.php is displayed. So you can make this page a little more robust than just showing a page with the content. Entering the custom fields can be a little tedious. You saw I had to type in points, specify the value, type in date due, specify the date. This is my favorite plugin for WordPress, is the custom field template. I talked a lot about custom fields and this plugin in a talk at WordCamp last year, and this is a link to that talk. And in that, I walked through how to set up this custom field template plugin. What it basically allows you to do is, using some simple code to write like this, you can define preset custom fields on your pages and posts. So what I've set this up to do, without getting into too much detail, is to add a drop-down called points and to add a date picker called date due on the page. And so to show you how this works, I'm going to add one more assignment. This is the introductory blog post. Paste in some content, and you notice this new block right here that has points and date due. So I'll pick week 1 as my parent, specify the order to 2, and then for the points and the date due, I don't have to type in all that custom field stuff. I can just pick from the drop down and from a date picker the values. So this next assignment is worth 6 points, and it's due August 25th. And then I can publish that. So instead of having to type points and type date due over 100 times, I can just pick them from those controls. And then that page will look just like the other one, because that stores it in the custom fields just like what WordPress does. So now this page will also have that metadata associated with it. So now when we go up to the assignments, or the week 1 page, so this is one level higher now. This page is still using page.php, so it's still showing the parent and then the week title, which isn't what I want to show for the weeks. That's what I wanted to show on the individual assignments, but that's not what I want to show for the weeks. What I want to show here for the weeks is week 1, some content, and then a table showing all of the children pages. So we need a separate page template that works, that is used only on the weeks. The easiest way to create a custom page template is to just copy the page.php file. So this is FileZilla, my FTP client, and I've connected out to my website here. This is the WordPress site. So under WP Content, Themes, and under the particular theme name, something I should point out, if you're going to modify the default theme, which is what I've done here, I'd recommend taking a copy of it first, kind of creating your own theme that's a copy. That way it won't get blown away in an upgrade. That's my public service announcement about that. So I copied the 2010 theme and called it EMAC 3361. That's the name of my course. Alright, so then I'll click on EMAC 3361 folder. And then this is a list of all the templates in the theme. And one of them is that page.php. So in your FTP client, you can download page.php to your local computer, then rename it. In this case, we'll call it page-week, since this is the page template that should be used for all the weeks, all the pages in WordPress that are weeks. And then upload it again. And so now I've got two files, pageweek.php and page.php. Now going back into the theme editor under Appearance Editor, this is where we edited the page.php before. You'll see pageweek.php is now in the list. So any file you upload will automatically show up here in the theme editor. And to let WordPress know that it's a custom page template, so that it's a custom way you could display pages, you've got to add a little piece of code, a comment up here that just says template name, colon, and then the name of the template. So we'll call this one week. So now when I save that, just by adding that one piece of code, WordPress knows this is a page template, and it's changed the title of the page in this list. It used to just say pageweek.php, but now it knows this is the week page template. And you can see that same thing up there at the top. So WordPress knows this is a custom page template. It's a custom way that pages could be displayed. There's a really good tutorial about how to create a custom WordPress page template, which also has that little piece of code that you need. So it'll walk you through how to add that piece of code and kind of all that process. So from here now we can modify our page template. So all that fancy code we wrote to show the title of the parent page and all that we can just take off, because for this page we just want to show the title of the page, which is week 1, August 23rd through 29th. We don't need the custom fields that are related to when the assignments are due, since these aren't assignments. These are weeks. But then the thing we need to do is add, below the content, we want to add some code that displays that list of all the children pages. I went out to the WordPress Codex and got this code, which will display all the children pages of the current page as if they're posts. So it'll show the title and a paragraph from the post or from the page. It organizes them by date. But that's not exactly what we want to do, but that's a good place to start. And then from there I modified the code so that what it shows instead, under the content, it shows a table with 3 columns, due date, points, and assignments. It calls this WordPress get pages function. It gets all the children pages, puts them in order by that menu order, and then it loops through them, and for each page that it finds, it outputs a row with 3 columns, one for the date due, and it uses the same custom field code, one with the points, and then under that it shows the title of the page with a link to it, and then ends the table. Alright, now the magic is you have to tell WordPress that for this week page to use the week template. So I've gone back under pages, clicked on the week 1 page. I'm going to add some content here. Welcome to the course. Here's the assignments for the first week. But the magic here is under page attributes, there's a field called template. And it uses the default template by default, obviously, which is the page.php file. But you can change it to use the week file. Now that's the file that we created. And because we put that template name at the top, WordPress knows this is a page template that can be used to display pages, so it put that into the list. So now this page, this week 1 page, is going to use our week template, which is going to then use pageweek.php to display that page. So when I refresh the page, you'll see it's week 1, the content, and then this beautiful table listing all the assignments underneath it. I added a couple of more assignments in the back end for the screenshot there. Alright. Next up, if you look at the wireframes, now we're going to move to the home page. So I've got the bottom, the assignment page, the individual assignments, and the week page looking more or less like I want. I'm going to go back to the home page now. If you look at the sidebar, you'll see there's an announcements section and then a Twitter section, and those can just be controlled with widgets. So I've gone in under Appearance, Widgets, and I've added one of the default recent posts widgets. I've called it Announcements, and I set it to only show one post. So when I set this up now on the sidebar on the home page, it'll just show the one post there. Right now the post says Hello World, so I'm going to edit it. As I mentioned, as I add the assignments to the course website, I write a blog post that says the assignments for this particular week are now available. So here's the first one, Week 1 assignments are now available. And I will write those a couple of weeks in advance, so I think the wireframe shows I've already written the Week 3 assignments are available post when we're in the middle of Week 1. And as I think about what I want the content for this post to be, I really don't need any significant content about this. What I'd really like to do is when someone clicks on that recent post, it would just take them to the page we just made with the table. So I don't actually really need any content. What I really need is a feature I can get from a plugin, another plugin that I love called Page Links To. What this does is for your posts and pages, it gives you another box here underneath the content called Page Links To, where you can specify a web address so that whenever somebody clicks on a link to that post or page, it redirects them to a separate web address. You can use this to set up short URLs. You can use it to link people off your website if you wanted to have like a buy from our store kind of link. And what I've done here is the blog post called Week 1 Assignments Available links directly to the Week 1 Assignments page. So it shows up in the sidebar. It shows up in the sidebar on the home page, but when you click it, it doesn't take you to a blog page. It takes you directly to the assignments page we just created with that full table of assignments. So if you can see the web address down here at the bottom is where it will link. Now for the Twitter section, what I do is I suck in all the tweets that use our course's hashtag. And I do this using a plugin called KB Advanced RSS Widget. I'm not going to go into too much how I did this because it's something we've talked about at the DFW WP Tech group. But the short version is that every Twitter search has an RSS feed you can subscribe to, and so you can use this RSS widget to display all of those in your sidebar. If you have questions about that, you can let me know. But what I've shown here is because the semester we're in the summer break, there were no tweets about my class, so I used the DFW WP hashtag instead, just for this demo. All right. One last thing on the home page that we need to modify is, if you look at the wireframes, it doesn't say home in the wireframes. Obviously, it's the home page, so I don't need to show the title. So the way we can accomplish that is with yet another custom page template. Now, we could easily modify page.php just to say, if this is the home page, don't show the title. But I actually want to use a custom page template because if you'll notice, the sidebars are different. So the home page has a different sidebar than the assignments page. We won't have time to cover all of that, but that's why I'm creating a separate page template. So just like before, I downloaded page.php and I renamed it to frontpage.php. WordPress will automatically use whatever PHP is in frontpage.php as the home page. This is a new template file that's available in WordPress 3.0. So you can just write custom PHP that only applies to your home page. You don't have to actually set it up as a page template like we did before with that custom piece of code and then pick it from the page. If you just call it frontpage.php, WordPress will use that when somebody hits the front page of your site. So I uploaded frontpage.php, came down here, clicked on that, and now to edit it, this is a copy of page.php. Again, just like we did before, we don't need the code to display the title at all. And the comment I just changed, since it says this is the title, or this is the page for every page, I changed it. It's just the front page, and took out all that stuff about the title. And I can take out all the stuff about the custom fields again. And so now on the home page, it'll just show the content. It won't actually even show the title. So I went into the home page and added the description for week 1, and just added a link to the week 1 assignments there, just in the content. And when you go to the front of the website now, it'll look like this. It won't show the title at all, it'll just show the content. So I've added a bunch of assignments now. So as you can see, as I add the weeks, so week 2, week 3, week 4, I've added the assignment or announcement blog post. So the current one is week 4 assignments are available. When you click on the assignments page, though, I don't have a wireframe for that. I don't have a wireframe for what that should look like. And basically, I don't really need an assignments page. Really, assignments is just there as a placeholder in the navigation. So if somebody did click on assignments, what I'd want it to do is take them to the current week's assignment. So if you click on assignments, I'd really like it to just forward to week 1. And check out the plugin called Redirector. That's a feature of that plugin. So you can go to any page and say, I want this page to forward to the first child page underneath it. And what gets interesting there then is as the semester rolls on, I want to move week 1 down below so that week 2 is the top page. Now you can do that by editing all the menu order fields, which I showed you. You can go into all the pages and edit their menu order. Or you can use a plugin called Reorder. This gives you another page, another screen in the admin under pages that lists all your pages here in a hierarchy. To reorder the pages, you simply click on it and drag it. So you can reorder that just like this. And so now I've moved week 1 to the very bottom. So every week I post a blog post, I move that down, and then when you flip back over to the site, you can see it's moved it down. And in fact, what I've done to make it even easier is I've added a page at the bottom called Archives. And so all the pages that are in the future, all the weeks in the future, I put above that, and then I just move, each week I move it down. Now you might be wondering, well, if you click on Archives, where does it go? So I've used the Redirector plugin. So if you click on Archives, it redirects you to the assignments page, and the assignments page then will redirect you to its first child, which will be whatever the current week is. I mentioned that I have a different sidebar in the individual assignments versus the home page. So when you're on an assignment, so here we've clicked on assignments and gotten to the week 2 list, clicked on the first assignment there. What I want to show is a list in the sidebar of all the other assignments for that week. I'm not going to walk through the code for that, but you can find the WP list pages function is what you want. So if you go to this codex, you can see what the code is you would need for that, and then you can just paste that into your theme to replace the sidebar call in your page.php file. And that's it.
Thank you, Randy.